back for our daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel for Tuesday, May 13th. All 30 teams today in Major League Baseball will be in action. We've got our 5 best bets for this 15-game schedule. Now, before we get into the best bets, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Later today, we're going to have our NBA playoff predictions and best bets. 2 games today, Thunder, Nuggets, and the Pacers get a chance to close out Cleveland today in Ohio. Game number 5, Indiana up 3-1. I can't wait. Make sure to join us on the channel later for that video in about 4 hours here on the channel. And also on Greedo Plays MMA this week, we have our UFC Fight Night Burns versus Morales predictions. That is linked in the description down below. Go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA while you're at it as well. We might have some different type of content up on Greedo Plays MMA. We are going to continue doing UFC, same with PFL. We might be diving into some regional promotions for MMA this week, so just make sure to join us for that. Again, probably on Wednesday we'll have a video up over there. Okay, or maybe Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, don't know. Anyways, on to the first of our 5 best bets. We kick things off with our Nerfy of the day. We hit yesterday with the Cleveland Guardians and the Milwaukee Brewers. That game ended up being a 5-0 shutout for the Guards, but we didn't see a run scored in that outing in Progressive Field until inning number 4. Today, we're going Nerfy with the Chicago White Sox and the Cincinnati Reds. Guys, this is to me just a result of, I don't think either of these teams are going to be able to hit the ball in the first inning. Okay, I've said it multiple times. I don't think the White Sox pitching staff's honestly that bad. And there's some guys in particular that I like. Jonathan Cannon's one of those guys. We've played Jonathan Cannon before this season. Didn't go well the one game we picked Cannon. He didn't go over his strikeout prop, but we don't need him to get strikeouts today. We just need him to get out the first inning unscathed. And you look at what Cannon's been doing in his last 2 starts. 6 innings against both the Royals and the Astros. Gives up 9 hits, but only 2 runs in both of those starts in 6 innings. Cannon's pretty solid, and I know the Reds lineup has been much better, obviously. I mean, this is a team that's been kind of known for having lackluster bats, but and they've been better, obviously, but their last series over the Mother's Day weekend, they got shut out in 2 of 3 games in Houston against the Astros, the last one obviously being on Sunday, losing the game 6-0, and this is a lineup that is very hot and cold. They will have nights where they're going to look great. How the second game of that 3-game set in Houston, the Reds scored 13 runs and won the game over the Astros, but the other 2 games were a 3-0 loss and a 6-0 loss. That's going to happen in Cincinnati, and I think, again, they are going to get shut out in the first inning. You look at the top of the order, TJ Friedl, I know he can slap the ball. Matt McLain, hasn't been playing his best ball so far this year. Let's just be honest, batting 165. Ellie De La Cruz, obviously, he's great, batting 244 though this season. He has cooled down since his hot start. CJ Abrams is better, but it is what it is. And then Austin Hayes obviously ripping the cover off the ball right now in the 4th spot, but I think Cannon's able to go 1-2-3 in this first inning. I firmly believe that. I think Cannon, for being a pitcher who's fairly young in his career, 24 years of age, is doing a really good job here at Chicago this season. Again, 4.09 ERA. Sure, he doesn't get the run support, obviously, because he plays for the White Sox, but that's fine today because I don't want him to get run support. We need again the White Sox to not score in the first inning either. So I think Cannon's going to go out there and get the 3 outs. Obviously, the hardest tasks are going to be Friedl, Ellie, and potentially Austin Hayes. But if we're able to get those guys, I think we're all right. Well, obviously, we're going to be all right. But I think Cannon's got the stuff to get out the first inning. And then I look at what the White Sox are going to be offering back at the other side. I think we're good. The White Sox are not a very good hitting team. You know it. I know it. The American people know it. I know they just won their series in Miami against the Marlins. Actually, no, that was in Chicago, but they won 2 of 3 against the Marlins. That doesn't mean anything. Let's just be honest. I mean, look at this top of the order. Meredith, Rojas, Vaughn, Robert. I mean, Andrew Vaughn bats 191. Rojas bats 200. Robert's in the 180s. I mean, odds on this team's not going to score in the first inning. Let's just be honest. Tim Elko hit a 3-run home run on Sunday against the Marlins. You might be thinking who, and I'm like, I would see why you'd say that. They're not a very good hitting team, right? We hit our last Nerfy with the White Sox. Actually, no, we didn't because they scored in the first. And they're not going to score off of Andrew Abbott. Andrew Abbott, the lefty, 2.25 ERA out of Lynchburg, Virginia, 25 years of age. Abbott's not going to go too deep into games, but he's going to give you very productive innings. Now, his best start all year long was on April 18th in Baltimore against the Orioles. He goes 6 innings, gives up 2 runs, one of which a solo homer, but also strikes out 11 Orioles in that outing. His last outing against the Braves, 5 shutout innings of work. Yeah, Abbott, again, he's not going to go all that deep into a game. He's just like a really good version of Trevor Williams if Williams was a lefty. No, that's kind of messed up to Abbott, I think. Not really. I mean, again, Abbott's not going to blow you away with the speed, but he's got some really good breaking stuff, and I like what Abbott's got, 2.25 ERA. And guys, look at that White Sox lineup, especially the top of it, and tell me that they're going to score in the first inning. No, I don't think so. So really, it all comes down to Jonathan Cannon, but I feel like Cannon is underrated. I think the entire White Sox pitching staff is underrated. Obviously, they're going to lose games because of their bats, because Robert bats 181, Vaughn bats 190, and that's why they lose. I think their pitching staff actually is not that horrible this season. They're young. I think in a couple of years they might be pretty solid. So I'm okay with this because, again, I feel like the books are expecting Abbott to get those 3 outs against the Sox, and the question mark is Jonathan Cannon. I feel pretty confident in Cannon, and, it's about even for the odds here today for the Nerfy. We're going to go no runs, obviously, scored in the first inning, -115 here at Great American Ballpark between the Chicago White Sox and the Cincinnati Reds. Let's go on to our second best bet of the video. We move to our best player prop of the day. Yeah, we're picking Alec Bum. This might be a shock, and I understand why it would be. But we're taking Alec Bum over on hits, runs, and RBI. It's 1.5, obviously. And Bum, in his last game, or actually 2 games ago, hit this against the Cleveland Guardians. Yesterday, he hit it as well, by the way, with 2 hits against St. Louis. So back-to-back games where Alec Bum has put together 2 base knocks. Alec Bum's actually on a pretty big hit streak at this point right now. Alec Bum has gotten on base with a hit in every game since May 2nd. It's about a 9-10 game hitting streak now for Alec Bum, who started the season ice cold, now has the average up to 255. I understand the Philadelphia Phillies lost yesterday to the St. Louis Cardinals, but the Phillies are still playing much better baseball than they were at the start of the season. They do look to me like the best team in the National League East. A Mets walk-off win over the Pirates last night does not move me at all. I get Paul Skeens' pitch, but regardless, and of course, he was another half strikeout away from covering his prop, but it is what it is. Alec Bum is playing a lot better. And also, Bum in his last, 3 games has gotten on base, has picked up hits, but no RBI and no run to show for it. I mean, that's going to turn itself around eventually as well, right? If Bum continues to hit the ball well, continues to put the ball in play, continues to get base knocks, yes, the runs and the RBI will follow as well. But Alec Bum has been able just to hit this line like yesterday against the Cardinals just with 2 hits. 2 hits, that will cover, obviously. Now, we didn't just randomly pull Alec Bum out of our ass for this play, all right? There is a reason to this, and that's because Alec Bum, career-wise, is pretty solid against Sonny Gray, who's the starting pitcher tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, I understand how great Gray is, right? He's been serviceable this year. Actually, he's been good. We'll say that. For Sonny Gray standards, maybe we expect a little bit better, but Sonny Gray's still been good this year, right? He's, the Cardinals have won most of the games he's pitched in, obviously, this year. Obviously, again, that's not always a pitcher stat, but regardless, 3.5 ERA so far in the season for Gray. He's got 47 strikeouts. He's been pitching pretty well, but we look at, again, career past against these Phillies hitters. He's done fairly well against Bryce Harper. 3 for 20 is Bryce against Sonny Gray. I look at a guy like JT Realmuto, who's 3 for 17 against Sonny Gray. Hell, Kyle Schwarber, 3 for 22 against Gray. But then I look at Alec Bum, who's batting 455 against Gray over Gray. Over 11 appearances, 5 for 11 at the dish, 3 RBI and a double. There is some ownage with Trey Turner, obviously. Turner, 9 for 23 at the dish against Gray. That comes out to a 391 average. But we get better odds with Alec Bum, and I understand Trey Turner's been swinging the bat very well for Philadelphia as well. But I'm going to take a guy here in Alec Bum who has always hit Sonny Gray well, who's always seen Sonny Gray well, and a guy who is constantly right now improving at the plate. I feel like that's a win-win for us. Alec Bum, again, is slowly climbing his way back up the order. I mean, at his lowest point this year, he was batting 8th for Philadelphia. Now he's in the 6th spot. I'd argue he should probably be back in the 5. I mean, Personally, I much rather have right now Alec Bum at the dish over JT Realmuto. I'm just going to be honest with you. I know Realmuto, again, has figured it out as well, and really everyone's figuring it out right now for Philadelphia, with the exception kind of a Bryce. Let's just be honest, Bryce is batting 230, but again, that's like the least of the Phillies' concerns. They're 7 games over 500 right now. They're finding ways to win games. Turner's hitting, Schwarber's hitting, Castellanos is hitting, Sosa's hitting, Bohm's hitting, and you really haven't even gotten Bryce going just yet. Oh, yeah, they're dangerous, okay? Yeah, maybe they don't need to tear it down and rebuild, okay? This might actually be their year, and I'm just saying, I still think there's a chance they're going to go out and get not Bryce Harper. I think there's a chance they might get Mike Trout. I have a feeling Now, I would not want to see it personally. Well, okay, as a fan of the sport, I'd love to see it. As a Washington Nationals fan, I'd hate it. But I think it would be kind of cool if Trout and Harper were on the same team. Now, again, Trout's just got to get healthy. And what would the package be back for Mike Trout at the deadline? I mean, obviously, it'd be a pretty hefty haul. But I think Philadelphia, I think they've got the guys to do it. And really, okay, and I know it's Mike Trout, but really, I mean, what do the Angels really command for him? You know, like, again, I know Trout's a generational player. He's the best of his generation, right? But what are you going to ever win? Let's just be honest. And shout out to the Angels, by the way, last night. Not walk off, but a go-ahead grand slam in the top of the ninth to pick up the victory over San Diego. They were trailing by 2 going in the inning. They put up a 6th spot on the Padres to win the game. But what is your future? It's not winning. And sure, I'm sure Trout wants to be in Anaheim, but if you propose the idea to Mike Trout, he's not going to say no to this. You go to your hometown, you to play for your hometown squad, and you're immediately on the World Series favorites. I'm not even trying to gas up the Phillies here. I'm just going to be honest. And as someone who's watched Mike Trout's career and has never seen him succeed, why not? You know, why not? It's not like the Nationals are going to ever be in a position to win. So, like, this is not even, you know, this isn't in our time frame, so I don't really care, you know? I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind it. Anyways, Alec Bum over on 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. And now I get to talk about this absolute joke of a franchise, the Washington Nationals. The best bet today is Mike Soroka over 4.5 strikeouts. Mike, I'm asking for something, pal. Michael Soroka, I'm asking for one thing out of you today. Show some damn fight, pal. All right? This team gave up on you. All right? This team let you go to Chicago. You were a star. You were a rising pitcher in the ranks here in Atlanta. You were their guy in the rotation at one point. Obviously, tore his ACL, dealt with a litany of injuries, but you were the guy in Atlanta, Michael Soroka. You have not pitched against the Braves since. This is your 3rd start of the year. Your last start actually wasn't that bad against the Guardians until you came back out for a 6th inning and couldn't throw the ball over the plate, or actually couldn't get an out. But 8 strikeouts against Cleveland over 5 innings. Pitch count was at 78 when you got pulled. All right, dude. Let's go. You get your former team here in the Atlanta Braves. You had 8 strikeouts in your last outing. Go out and get 5 strikeouts against the Braves. You know these guys. Actually, the lineup's much different. Nah, Soroka was just here 2 years ago. Yeah, go out and get it done, pal. Come on now. Like, show some damn self-respect and go out here and bitch this team for us. All right? I know the Braves don't really strike out that much, and Jake Irvin had, 1 strikeout all outing yesterday. But Soroka, honestly, that Guardian start was impressive, I'm not going to lie. Again, until it went south, Soroka showed some decent stuff, had some nice swing and miss stuff, and honestly, I'm cool with it. Now, again, what is Soroka's long-term outlook on this team? I don't know. But for this one game, this is your revenge game. You're back in Atlanta. Go show these fans who you are, all right? They're starting who? Schwellenbach tonight? Again, I have lost all hope in ever picking the Washington Nationals to win a baseball game. Spencer Schwellenbach, who has been kind of shaky this season, is going to absolutely roll over the Nationals. Guys, the Nationals have faced nothing but pitchers with over 4.5 ERAs, and they've been dominated in every single appearance that they get. Look at yesterday. We got dominated by Holmes from Atlanta. It's just every day this team's atrociously horrible. But Mike Soroka, hey pal, this isn't a team thing today. This is a you thing, buddy. All right, because Mike Soroka is not going to be around this team for much longer. All right, he got signed to a 1-year deal, whatever. Okay, let Rizzo cook, I guess. But if I'm hoping, and I'm serious, Mike Soroka, pal, you're probably not going to be remembered as a Nationals, great. Let's just be honest. I wish, but probably not. Okay, this is your one moment here, dude. You're playing for a division rival, right? I remember when Soroka used to cook us back in the day. I remember. But anyways, you're playing against a division rival who gave up on you. They let you go to, they sent you to Chicago, all right? Not the Cubs, to the South Side to play for the White Sox. Here you go, dude. Go show it to them right now. Strike out, you strike out Ozuna from the Braves. Strike out Olsen. Set down Verdugo. Let's go, dude. Mike Soroka, 8 strikeouts in his last game. Let's go over this line today. Now, the Washington Nationals as a whole, they're probably not going to win because they just suck. All right, there's nothing else to say. I have to watch this team yesterday. They go 8 innings of lifeless baseball. James Wood hits a solo opposite field home run. That's great, but this team plays lifeless baseball for 8 innings. Shout out to the 9th because Dylan Cruz comes through. I know he's batting 190. Oh no, he's gonna be fine. But Dylan Cruz with a single up the middle ties the game. Nick Allen double pumps the ball. Regardless, it's a hit for Cruz, 2 RBI. Nationals tie the game. Can they break their 6-game losing streak, whatever it is now? I've lost track how many games they've lost in a row. We're 8 games under 500. Anyways, bottom 9 happens. We keep Jackson Rutledge in, runner on second, then we bring in Andrew Chafin instead of Kyle Finnegan, who hasn't pitched for 6 days. We don't go to our all-star closer. No, we go to Andrew Chafin, who immediately gives up it to Alex Verdugo, and the Nationals lose to the Braves. We can't catch a break. We continue to lose, and lose some more. The Nationals have been outscored 41-13 in the last 4 games, is it? Oh my God. It's just, this is abysmal. 5 games it might be that stat. I don't know. It's just, oh my God. Like, why do we even watch? Actually, no. That line's for the entire losing streak. That's in the last 6 games. They've been outscored 41-13. We're a joke. We can't hit the baseball. We still employ Darnell Coles. And the problem is nothing will ever change. Lerner's too busy dealing with his real estate than his baseball team. I'm serious. Job security's at a max. Nobody's ever going to get fired. It needs to start with Darnell Coles immediately. All right? Then keep Davey on the short leash. But no, nothing ever changes. We are used to losing. We are stuck in mediocrity for forever, and no one cares. Guys, what do you think goes on in the minds of Mike Rizzo? Probably, I don't get enough money to spend because my owner's cheap. But seriously, for anyone who cares about this team in the front office, what do you think about watching this team every day? We've somehow gotten worse from last year. Again, we have Wood, Abrams, Gore, you could say Finnegan. Kind of make the case we have 4 All-Stars this season. We're only obviously going to get 1, maybe 2, probably Gore, Abrams, I'd think. But how are we worse this year? We are going backwards in a rebuild with younger players. Mike Soroka over strikeouts. I can't believe I'm getting myself excited to watch the Nationals today to see if Mike Soroka can complete his revenge game. There is no attachment to Mike Soroka. This guy cooked us for years. He's on our team now. He's been horrible for us. Let's just be honest. 2 starts, he'll be fine. I can't say he'll be fine. I don't know. But he hasn't been good in 2 starts, all right? Showed some signs in the Cleveland start. And now I'm cheering this guy on to try to, get a revenge game here. And probably his only ever big moment with the Nationals. Oh my God. I hate being a Nationals fan, man. I absolutely hate it. 4th best bet of the video, we move to our first money line of the day. Let's go to Seattle, Washington. So we're 0-5 in Mariners games this season, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that stat, but we keep losing whoever we pick in Mariners games, right? We can pick the Mariners, they'll lose. We'll pick against the Mariners, they'll win. That happened in the A's series in Sacramento last week. So today I'm taking the New York Yankees. The Mariners have lost 4 games in a row. I'm not going to call them fraudulent because I'm just not, all right? I'm past those days of just calling out the Mariners and saying they're horrible, they're the worst team in the American League West. Because back when I said that, I actually thought my baseball team was going to be solid this year. So I'm actually not going to harp on any team anymore, all right? It's all love here. It's all sunshine and rainbows now because, my team sucks. We only have 1 game on the Marlins right now. But the Mariners lost 11-5 yesterday to the Yankees. Oswaldo Cabrera twists his leg in the wrong direction. That was gross. I feel bad for the guy, honestly. Just like Jason Tatum. But, not in same injury, obviously, but I feel bad for both of them. Yeah, I don't understand this line today. I feel like the Yankees should be like -160, if I'm being honest with you. Because Max Fried's pitching. And if you've watched Max Fried this year, he's been arguably one of the best pitchers in the American League, if not the best pitcher in the American League. 1.05 ERA this season. I don't think the Yankees have lost a game in which Fried's pitched. No, they haven't. And sure, they get him a lot of run support, but yeah, Fried's been lights out all year long. I mean, his last start against the Padres, who are a great lineup, he goes 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. It's a solo home run. Rays start 7 innings, 1 hit, 0 runs. Blue Jays 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. Tampa Bay start again prior to that, 7 2/3, 2 hits, 0 runs. That guy's pretty good. The rich get richer, obviously. They go out and get Fried, and he's been excellent for them. Bryan Woo, he was good for most of the year, and then I watched his last start, and it is what it is, Mariners A's baseball, but I watched his last start, and he was pretty bad against the Sacramento Athletics. Now, I know the Mariners came back and won that game last Wednesday, but Woo wasn't all that great, and he got hit around a little bit in that A's start, and he hasn't been at home in Seattle in 4 or 5 starts now at this point. His last home start was on April 12th against the Rangers, but if you're getting hit up by the A's, and I get it, the A's are great, and we're actually going to talk about the A's in just a few moments here, what's this Yankees lineup going to do to you? And I'm not even saying Woo's going to get blown up tonight. I'm just saying I think he's going to give up more runs than Fried does, right? I mean, you look at what the Yankees did yesterday, 11 runs on 15 hits against Seattle. And yes, that was Emerson Hancock on the mound, so that did feel like hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. But, Aaron Judge is still batting .414. Paul Goldschmidt, they randomly got to hit .350 for them now, which I feel like would only happen to the New York Yankees. It's like, remember when Matt Carpenter was a Yankee and he randomly batted .300 after batting .180 the year before? It's just this voodoo magic that happens in the Bronx. I don't know. Cody Bellinger, too, I guess, is going to figure it out, I think, eventually. They have Trent Grisham hitting 2 home runs yesterday. It's just weird. But with all that being said, yeah, they're going to beat the Mariners tonight. Max Fried's on the mound, so the Mariners won't be able to score. Let's just be honest. I know we're past the days of, the Mariners can't score, lol, but they're hitting against Max Fried today. So I don't think that's going to go their way. I'm just going to be honest with you, right? I think Max will score 1 or 2 runs. Well, then, okay, you're facing probably the league's best offense right now on the other side, or best bats, and that's the New York Yankees. So I don't care how Woo's been, how good he's been. The Yankees are scoring at least 3 runs against that guy. And then, okay, the Mariners are screwed. Then it does become a bullpen battle at times, I understand. But, New York's winning this baseball game, and I feel pretty good about it. I love the pitching matchup, and I feel like, again, the odds should probably be a lot more in favor of the Yankees, -135. Does kind of feel like a steal for me, if I'm being honest. If we're taking the Yankees here, they should be able to go to Seattle, Washington, and dominate the Mariners tonight. They won by 6 yesterday. Expect to get another dominant performance. I don't think as high scoring, obviously, because the 2 starting pitchers on the mound tonight, but I definitely do like the New York Yankees to win this game here on the road against the Seattle Mariners. Let's go on now to our final best bet of the video, and we go to a money line play here, +160. For the +165, for the Sacramento Athletics to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. All right, hear me out, guys. Another very favorable pitching matchup for us tonight. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. Oh, Jeffrey Springs is a 4.81 ERA. He does. His last 2 starts have been really good. Okay, in Texas, Springs goes 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs. Against Seattle, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, whatever. But that's like, the Mariners were going on their little run at the time, right? The Mariners, the bats are hot. They're great now, right? Okay, Springs in his last 11 innings has actually been pretty good. He's a pitch-to-contact guy, which doesn't always bode too well against the Dodgers. But I think we're manageable here, obviously, with the lefties in the lineup as well for the Dodgers. Again, Shohei Ohtani, obviously, Freddie Freeman's in there as well, right? I mean, Will Smith doesn't always hit lefties the best. He's been really good this year, obviously, but with a kind of slow pitching, slow throwing lefty in the mound, Jeffrey Springs, I think there's some potential problems that he will bring up for the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are pitching Landon Knack, who I think, I like Landon Knack. I just don't think he's ready for prime time. Let's just be honest. And he's 27, so when is he ever going to be ready for prime time? I don't know. But Landon Knack, his last start was good, but that was against the Miami Marlins. He goes 5 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs. Prior to that, though, this guy's gotten blown up in 2 starts against the Colorado Rockies, gave up some runs, and the Washington Nationals bombed this guy, right? Again, that was early April, and boy, have things changed since then. But Landon Knack, he doesn't have the most movement on his fastball. It comes out kind of straight. I think it's easy to spot, if I'm being honest. Well, I think it's an easy pitch to hit from what I've seen. I've seen CJ Abrams hit nothing but nukes off of Landon Knack throughout his career, right? And I think, again, I look at the pitching matchup today. I say, okay, Jeffrey Springs, the lefty, I think presents some problems for the Dodgers. And you know how much we like the Athletics bats. I know, again, they lost that series to the Yankees 2-3, but first game in Los Angeles against a pitcher who's not the best. And this is a lineup for the Athletics that's nothing short of spectacular. Guys, Jacob Wilson is one of the best contact hitters in the MLB. right? This guy hits for great average. He's batting 350. Can Jacob Wilson finish the year batting over 300? I think it's very plausible. I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm not gonna tell you that Jacob Wilson's gonna be like a Stephen Kwan in the MLB, but like that's kind of what he looks like this season. I'm serious. A right-handed version of Kwan. Brent Rooker is obviously great. Soderstrom still hitting the ball very well. Again, hasn't gone on that outburst of home runs like he was earlier in the season, but Soderstrom's very good still, obviously, right? You know what some of these other guys bring. I'm talking about Lawrence Butler. I'm talking about Nick Kurtz. I'm talking about Shea Langoliers. I'm talking about JJ Bleday, right? I mean, there's just guys in this lineup. They are a scrappy bunch, but they find ways on base, and they will shock you. Miguel Andujar as well. Now, Andujar probably won't be in the starting lineup, I assume, because there's no lefty on the mound. It's a righty, obviously, in Knack, but a platoon spot or a pinch hitting spot. Okay, now we go to Andujar, who hits left-handed pitching very well, right? If Alex Vesia comes in the game, right? Okay, we bring in Andujar. I think for the value, it's too good, if I'm being honest with you, right? I think for the value, this is a play that you can't pass up on, especially with Knack on the mound and the way that the A's hit. I know, again, they've kind of been a little bit cold coming from that Yankee series, but I think they shock a lot of people here against the Dodgers. And yeah, I know the Dodgers lineup is good. I think the A's can kind of match them hit blow for blow here, if I'm being honest with you. And I look at the overall outlook of this series. I mean, I see the next two games. Yamamoto on the mound for the Dodgers, probably a Dodgers victory. Sasaki versus Osvaldo Bido. I don't think Bido's that great, so probably Dodgers victories on Wednesday and Thursday. Like, this is the spot for the Athletics to get one here in Los Angeles, and I think they will here. Again, with the Landon Knack versus Jeffrey Springs pitching matchup, I do like it quite a bit here for the Athletics, and I think the value, again, is great. Plus 165. You know what the bats bring. They've got pop. Jacob Wilson finds a way on base pretty much every single at-bat. You can't get a pitch by that guy. He's going to put the bat on the ball. And I like the A's here. I really do. I think, again, we're going to get a good outing out of Springs, and I think they're going to rough up Landon Knack early, and I think they're going to be ahead in most of this game, if I'm being honest with you. And the Dodgers, say what you want, guys, the Dodgers have traded wins and losses in every game dating back to May 3rd. May 3rd victory against the Braves, then a loss, win over the Marlins, loss, win over the Marlins, lost Arizona, win over Arizona, lost Arizona, win over Arizona. They've traded nothing but wins and losses, again, for over a week at this point. They are due for a loss. They won their last game against the D-backs on Mother's Day on Sunday, so give me the Athletics to go into Los Angeles and pick up a win over the Dodgers. So, folks, that'll do it for our MLB Best Bets here for May 13th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily MLB Best Bets, and later today for our NBA predictions as well. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.